Happy Thursday. I don't know if you guys can hear. Sorry, I didn't know where my camera was. Normally I'm looking up there, but now since I've changed things, looking right here. I don't know if you guys can hear the hum in the background. It sounds like my computer is about to take off into orbit because I am exporting my car ride confession episode. Oh, let me get out of my email with Amy Kringle, the cereal queen. Oh my gosh. So much fun with Amy talking all about cereal and food and her perfect day, which was really funny. Um, but that will come out on Tuesday. If you haven't yet, go watch the episode with Olivia Kerstetter that came out this week. That was a super fun conversation. And I'm just having a lot of fun doing those segments. There's a lot of logistics that go behind them, because obviously, like, I meet up with these athletes when they're at a location for competition. So sometimes it doesn't always work out. Hello, Sagan. But this next batch is a lot of fun. And then the next batch of athletes is going to be with some tactical games athletes that I'm going to get while I'm in Texas for nationals. Why wait to release it? What do you mean why wait to release it? Because there's a schedule, I needed to edit them, and I think once a week for now is good for those episodes as I try to, coordinate other types of content that I'll be releasing on the channel. We got Live with Laur on Thursdays. We have car ride conversations, confessions, blah, 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 car ride confessions on Tuesdays. There's some other interviews. I'm organizing Maddie Rogers right now. We're going to do it after the release of the tier doc that comes out on Monday. So we're going to have a lot to talk about. We'll see if that works. Maybe I'll do Maddie's live. I think that would be fun. Yeah, Sagan. I don't know where everyone is. Where are all the homies at? CrossFit's here. There we go. Is it cold in New York? Yes, I'm sitting under a heated blanket. What kind of vehicle was it? Okay, so here's my hack. Some people are starting to show up now. Here's my hack that I'm pretty sure I learned from Emily and Kyle Rolfe, but they told me they actually learned from, I think, Paige Semenza, is get me through these last few hours of driving back from Phoenix. Oh, Brad, you're in Phoenix. What are you doing in Phoenix right now? I'm going to be in Phoenix in a couple of weeks for Desert City Classic. But fun fact, this is the best way to save a quick buck on vehicles, and there's some contingencies here. A U-Haul, not the big U-Haul where you have like the trailer that can flip on up and you fit things in, but they have U-Haul trucks. So it's basically a truck, has the U-Haul branding. Omar, what's up? But it's way cheaper than going to rent a vehicle. Now, I say that the contingencies are because they calculate your mileage. So if you need to rent a vehicle and you're not going to be driving that often, but you want to have your own vehicle, or it's ultimately going to be cheaper than Ubers. Oh, tactical games. That was in Phoenix. Oh, you stayed there for a week? What did you do? Did you do anything fun in Phoenix? Did you go to Sedona? I know Nick and Amanda went there to celebrate his birthday and their wedding anniversary, but did you check out any cool places while you were there? I love Phoenix. I love Arizona. But yeah, so if you guys are traveling anywhere and rental cars are just crazy expensive, which they were when I went to Huntington Beach, yeah, Uber is the way. Just write off the expense. And I do write off the expense, but I still like cheaper options. Like, I'm not just going to go spend millions of dollars on all of these work trips that, yes, of course they get written off. I have my tax guy that tells me all the secret things, all the secret sauce. But yeah, U-Haul was the way to go. It could be fun though to do a car ride confessions episode where I do have one of the massive U-Hauls, and like the opening shot is just me lifting it up and like letting the athlete out of the back. That could be kind of fun. But I think I need some practice driving bigger vehicles because truthfully, driving the truck U-Haul, that was probably like the biggest vehicle I've ever driven. So I did my first um not roundabout, U-turn, and Emily Rolfe was in the vehicle with me, and she cheered me on, and we didn't hit any curbs, like, everybody complimented my driving, so that gave me the confidence that I needed, so, CrossFit, you're trying to call me a turd? I know that I'm a turd, like, I'm a turd, I'm weird, I'm strange, I'm out there, etcetera, etcetera. This is no news to me. This is no news. We only have 2 minutes left, and then I can upload it to YouTube and schedule it. Sorry, Sagan. Schedule it for Tuesday because we're gonna stick to the schedule right now. Wouldn't trust you driving that. Well, CrossFit, good thing I'm not inviting you into my car ride confessions episodes. You don't need to trust me. So far, I've had almost 10 athletes, 8 athletes that have trusted me and my driving skills. And I learned from like the first round of car ride confessions episodes, the ones that I did at the games, that I need to find like a straightaway just because like turning on the blinker every single time you make a turn is just frustrating. So Huntington Beach was perfect because we had like the full strip. And by the time like we went down like one way 10 minutes and then come around, these episodes are, about 20 minutes give or take. So it actually worked out perfect. You're a glitter turd. That is very accurate. Sparkle farts. That's just it. Sparkle farts. Womp, womp, womp. Turo Turo is like the Airbnb with cars. Okay, wait. Somebody was telling me about that at the event that I worked at, Fight for the Fittest, this past weekend. But what did they told me Turo. Okay. They couldn't remember what it was called, so I'm putting that in my note sections. They also told me that Flight Connections, maybe .com, I don't know, but that also gives like all the cities and the airlines that do direct flights. So I thought that might be helpful as looking to book my life. Do you ever get bummed when a video doesn't get a lot of views? I mean, yeah, it freaking sucks. You put in a lot of work and you're like, oh my gosh, this conversation was so interesting and like 5 people watched it. Yeah, that sucks. But I also know that building a channel and building a viewership takes time. And lucky for me, I'm not reliant on like my income through YouTube. If my YouTube channel makes money, that's great. That's another way to, make money. It's another revenue stream, right? But lucky for me, like I have other things that I don't need to rely on that to make money necessarily. But yeah, I even think of my Instagram channel and the years that I put into that just to build, an above average audience. I mean, 22,000 people, like, yeah, to your average person might be a lot, but in the space of like media and influencers and people who do content and stuff, like it's still very small. So yeah, it's frustrating, and especially when the algorithm is always changing and you have to be so consistent. And while I've known that, sometimes I let my schedule be an excuse, like especially with Live with Laur. I want to do them every single Thursday, and there's been, several weeks in a row where I'm just like, "Oh man, I'm on the road and I just like can't make it." But I know to build, the audience and stuff, you really have to, it's a labor of love, consistency, and obviously quality content. And also figuring out, do I want to keep all of these different content ideas under my Lauren Khalil Instagram, or should I make a secondary Instagram? I don't want to, but maybe that's like what needs to happen. So a lot of things that kind of swirl around in your brain. Where's the Death by Rebrand show? Yeah, the cut line that is on the back burner right now. I did get the graphics. I mean, I got them a couple months ago. I haven't opened them because I knew that like this new car ride confessions thing, at least for me, was more interesting at the time. Um, But is it potentially not coming back? Maybe, but I would eventually like to get it back once that reaches back to my top priority. Yeah, like the goal is eventually on my YouTube channel, I would like, you know, 5 pieces of content coming out a week or, something every other day or a cadence like that. So, show us the graphics. Why? Why? No, I haven't even opened them. Uh, so who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I mean, I really enjoy making content. I enjoy having conversations. I enjoy sports. I enjoy people. I enjoy all of these things, and then it's just trying to prioritize what moves the needle the most and what do people want, because I think that's also an interesting game that content creators play is, okay, what do the people want and what does the algorithm want and what's going to get a lot of views, but sometimes that's not what the creator necessarily wants. And then it turns into this game of, oh man, I did a video like this, it got a lot of views. I didn't really like making this, but I'm going to follow the numbers, and that's one strategy. Or there's the other one, and this is the strategy that I go by is, yes, it's about like creating content that is interesting to the viewers, but at the end of the day, like as a creator, I want to do something that feels right to me. And if I'm not having fun creating the content, then I know myself. I won't continue it. So I think it's a balance of both. How many hours a day do you work? More than 40. I can tell you that much. Like, what? Do you, suck on. I don't know like which end of the spectrum you're on there. Do you think that I don't work or do you think that I work too much? Like where I'm curious like where that question comes from, or maybe just an interest. And it kind of depends too, like what are the weeks where I have events, because obviously then the hours that I work per week is going to go up. Like in a couple weeks I'm on three back-to-back events, so that'll be, you know, a very busy month, I would say. So, you know, it comes and goes, but yeah, I would say more than 40 hours a week for sure. But exciting that we have games location already, all of these things before Christmas. And even before Thanksgiving and even before Halloween. Amazing. We love to see that, especially because like this just gives athletes more of the ability to look at a calendar and really decide, where am I putting my eggs? And especially as like and everybody's contracts with brands are a little bit different, but if people have signed we'll use Tier, for example. It's a big, household name brand. If Tier is signing certain athletes for the year of 2025, and now they're looking ahead at 2026, people want to have all of that stuff done and locked in before the holidays, because people tend to take like the last 2 weeks of the year. Starting Christmas, honestly, like starting around December 13th, it feels like nobody is in the office and nobody works anymore until like January 5th, and then everybody needs everything. Just in all spaces. But so if they want to get all of their athletes signed and make sure that they have, bonuses included and a layout of the calendar, having these dates like the CrossFit Games and having somewhat a structure of the season even before those holidays begin is such a benefit to negotiating and giving athletes more opportunities, more earning opportunities, because they can really look at a calendar and be like, okay, I know that I'm doing, and again, I know that we don't know for sure what semifinals are going to be, or what competitions are going to be semifinals. We somewhat have an idea. You can kind of look in the windows of where the CrossFit Games season says semifinals are going to be and like whose dates fall under that. But anyways, I think a lot of good things are happening when it comes with the communication of the season, and even like having the episode with Tia releasing the new location and the dates, I think is super exciting. Do they make a lot of money from sponsors and don't rely on prize money? I guess I would say most, yes, but it depends what kind of athlete you are. If you're somebody like obviously Tia, great example there. She does rely on prize money, but for her to make even more money, she's going to back that up with sponsors and like get it written in her contract. Like, okay, if I win an event, I get this type of bonus. If I podium at an event, I get this type of bonus. If I get top 10, which obviously we know is like that probably isn't even written in her contract, this is the type of bonus I have. If I have this many appearances, like that's going to be an additional whatever because I'm in person showing off whatever brand I'm wearing that I have the partner deal with, in person activations, all of those little intricacies. But yes, I would say the majority of the athletes, on the other hand, are going to definitely have that stuff in their contract. Have you ever seen an athlete contract? Yes. Yes, I have. But everybody's is going to be different. I think whatever like tier, not tier, the brand, but tier levels, whatever tier of athlete you are, that's going to determine kind of what you're trying to get out of those branded partnerships and contracts. And also, certain brands work well together and uh, can kind of work collaboratively. So that's a benefit for athletes. But, I think also just from a spectator, and I talked about this on the Talking Elite Fitness podcast, but I remember when I worked in television, obviously that's my experience. So that's what I bring up all the time. But when we had to put in our vacation days, it was like before all of the holiday season, we had to put in our vacation days for the next year. And if you had any like during the calendar year that you would want vacation days taken off, it would be super hard. And like, depending how long you've worked at the TV station, a lot of the times they would just kind of like, no, yeah, that's not happening. So I think it's great from a spectator point of view to have the dates this early as people are looking for, okay, what are my vacations that I'm going to take next year? Is it going to be a family vacation? Is it going to be a quick, I can take a Friday and a Monday off and then move on. But it is interesting because you look at the people from Europe and they're probably looking at California and they're like, oh my God, flights are going to be like over $2,000. What a bummer. But I think it is interesting because then you have like Asia and Oceania, Australia specifically, and their flights are going to be way cheaper, which has well, back when the games were obviously, like, in California, but it hasn't been, like, convenient for them in a long time, so I think that's interesting. CrossFit, you know all too well about sweeps weeks. Yeah, 3 months of the year or yeah, pretty much 3 months out of the year, ratings periods, we could not take vacation. And even, like, if people would have babies during those months, you would be on a list somewhere. You probably wouldn't well, depending who you worked for. The places that I worked, probably wouldn't get a promotion. Your coworkers were gonna be pretty cranky with you because now they need to pick up the extra slack during ratings periods. And typically, like, as a reporter or even an anchor, you would be doing like deep dive, longer, kind of like investigative journalism pieces that would air over sweeps week. And yeah, I definitely don't miss that. And then we also had the New York State Fair is really big here and I live like the New York State Fair is hosted in the Syracuse area. So it'd be really big for us for the what was it? 2 weeks, 10 days, something like that that it would be happening and we could not take vacation during the state fair. Weddings, babies, yeah, the list goes on and on and on. How much, in your opinion, should a games level athlete make a year at a minimum? I don't know. I haven't really put much thought into like a baseline salary for them. Um, Before answering that, I would like to take a look at what other like sports that are not mainstream, like niche sports, what their athletes typically make. And I know a lot of them are in the same situation where it's like, what is the earning potential? How can we make more money? The good thing is with social media and stuff that people are able to make these brand deals that I think, you talk about this. I wouldn't say like 5 years, but maybe even 10 years ago, the earning potential and I don't have a fact. So like feel free to fact check me and then be like, no, Lauren, like you're talking out of your butt. But I feel like the earning potential has significantly increased because, more athletes have their own YouTube channels and they're more visible on social media. So they've got more followers and engagement and can transition uh their reach to other people, which will help for, the ROI for brands and whatnot. It'll always be the Carrier Dome. Oh yeah. I don't know. Like, I'm actually trying to think what it is called now because I just say, the dome, but yeah, I hate when places like that rebrand. And I get it. It all has to do with money and owners and whatnot, but it makes it really hard to remember what is the place actually called. Do any athletes really make much money via YouTube? Maybe not based on views, but potentially based on um those brands. Like if they go to a brand, again, we'll use tier for example. So if I'm an athlete and I say, "Hey, I have a YouTube channel. This is how many subscribers I have. This is my Instagram account. This is how many followers I have," and like sell content packages. And I don't know a ton when it comes to like what the language and that stuff is because again, it's going to be very, very specific to the athlete. So they might not make money based on watch time and that stuff, but they might make money because, okay, Tier is my sponsor for this show. I'm going to have a little QR code that people can scan. I'm going to have a call to action so they could, essentially come to Tier and say, "Hey, pay me X amount more because I'm going to be posting on my YouTube as well. And I'll have, links and what have you." So there's a lot of different ways that you can slice that pie. Mm, pie. Actually, I don't love pie, but I do love apple crisp. That buttery cinnamon sugar crack that's on top of apple crisp. Mm, so good. I have not had apple crisp this season. I am rather hungry though. I made meatballs the other day. So freaking good. I feel like it's one of those things that I don't regularly think about, but then when the idea pops into my head and I make meatballs, I'm like, "Ooh, this was like chef's kiss for the win." For the win. 5 a.m. squat club. Good evening. Who doesn't love a good squat club? Man, my front squat be struggling lately. It's wild because what did I hit? I hit probably a year and a half ago. I hit 245 for a single, and I'm married to that number. It's just one of those things that you keep chasing, chasing, chasing. And then, I decided that I was a little thicker than I would like to be, and that was not healthy. I was making some unhealthy choices. So, lost some weight, continue on that front squat cycle, and it's wild because all of my lifts I'm still able to hit like 90 to 95% of my max, and some of them like I'm still able to match my max. Bruce, what's up? Long time no chat on here. Um, but for whatever reason, my front squat, like I couldn't even hit 215 the other day. And I'm just like, what the heck? I lost no strength in any of my other lifts, arguably. And not that I've tested all of them. I haven't tested, a 1RM for my back squat, front squat. Um, but like my bench press stayed strong. You could argue that like my clean and my snatch stayed strong, but that's the limiter for me on that's technique. It's not a lack of strength. But man, that front squat is so frustrating. And then I look back though in 2019 in quarterfinals, there was that 4 rep max front squat in quarterfinals, and I hit 221 for 4. So like I can't even hit 215 for 1. What the heck is happening? So it's very, very upsetting. I hit my PR front squat in 2016. That's okay. That's okay. How close do you get to it? Like, are you able to hit like 85% of it? 90%? Where are you living in the percentage of that? Because I think that matters too, right? Oh, the struggle. The struggle is real when we just like chase these things. And in 2019, I was doing like double, sometimes triple sessions. Girth is gold. What an interesting comment. Yeah. Huh. Gold. Gold, gold, gold. But anyways, at my thickest, I hit 425. Hey, that's pretty good. That's nothing to smirk at. I'm not training the same now. I'm an old farmer with kids now. What kind of farm do you have? That's cool. That's okay. Old is a state of mind. You're not old. You're wise. You're wise beyond your years that you were in 2016. Yeah, it is kind of crazy to go back and look at, old programming progressions that I used to be on and all the time that I would spend in the gym and still not be, a regionals or semifinal athlete. But my favorite open was probably 2020 because it was all of the people, or maybe it was 2021. But, during the pandemic, I still worked out as regular. Yeah, my gym was closed, but me and my friends had the luxury of, buying a bunch of equipment on Rogue, and between, the group of 6 of us, we already had a ton, so we really didn't need to buy that much more. I think each of us, got one cardio machine and maybe some extra weights, but we trained hard during the pandemic when gyms and stuff were shut down. So then when we came back for that open, and obviously like numbers were down because I think people also thought, I haven't been training consistently. I don't want to do it this year, but man, I was like, damn, I'm like the 95th percentile this year. And it's like, yeah, no shit. Like nobody signed up this year and whatever. But anyways, Jose, what is up? Good to see you here. We raise all of our protein, eggs, chicken, lamb, and beef. Just became a farmer in 2021. How fun. Oh, I love that. My favorite thing, well, there's a couple things, but one of my favorite things when I lived in Wisconsin was there was, I think, a meat farmer. Is that what you'd call them? Um, was friends with somebody, or maybe they were at the affiliate that I went to, and they would sell like parts of cows or, full chickens, or I don't know if they did lambs, but anyways, it was great because as long as you had a freezer big enough, like you could pay for, a full cow. I don't think me and my boyfriend at the time, we didn't get a full cow, but we like selected certain parts of the cow, and there was nothing better than that. Uh, where do you live? Where do you live? How accessible are you to selling me part of your cow? Actually, I don't have a freezer big enough for that. I used to have a chest freezer, but when I moved, I didn't bring that with me. It was just too much. Um, but the fall open. No, 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 no. CrossFit. I am not talking about the year that there were 2 opens. I did not like that year. That year was no bueno. One is plenty. One is plenty. It was just like so quick after the fact. Um, that was such a weird year. 2 opens that year. Yeah. Anyways, of course I'm singing to you. Good people, We will sell at my affiliate when we raise enough. Ontario, Canada. Okay. Kind of a jump and a skip. I'm near Canada, but just the wrong side, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I bet people at your affiliate absolutely love that, having a direct line to the good stuff. My sister and brother-in-law, they have chickens. Um, and it's interesting because I don't necessarily know why they got chickens, because neither of them really eat eggs. Like they will, but it's not something they do like frequently. So anytime I'm over at my sister's, I'm like, okay, where are them fresh eggs? Mama needs them because I do eat eggs every single day. Nothing better than, okay, I've perfected my egg technique because for a long time, for many years, I was making the eggs like a frat boy. Put that thing on as high as you can. The quicker, the better. Like, this is just a passageway to get me the fuel that I need. Like, apparently, I hated myself and didn't care about my taste buds. So I would just cook them fast and hot, and it would be so bad. But, you put enough ketchup on anything and you're like, okay, whatever. This is fine. And then because one of the guys that works for Tactical Games, Ro, he's the head of media. So anytime, we go to or I go to Texas or we stay in an Airbnb for one of the events, he is normally the chef for all of us. He's such a good cook. Like, Ro, great content creator and great in the kitchen. And I watched him make eggs one morning and it was turned down on low or like 1 out of 10, and just slowly he was stirring them. And these were the fluffiest, tastiest eggs that I'd ever had. And I was like, "Ro, what did you put in these? Like, is there cheese in them? Like, they're fluffy and like I feel like there's cheese." And he was like, "No." I was like, "Did you put milk in them?" And he said, "No." I was like, "What did you do?" And he goes, "Low and slow." So now I have learned from Ro that is how I make my own eggs. Unless, of course, I am in like a crazy rush. But normally, like, I'll have, I don't have any of them in here, but I'll have like a little, they call them like smoothie pouches. It's really just like fresh fruit. And then they have like plant protein. So you get a little protein of that as well. And normally, like, I'll have that and maybe like a banana before the gym. Like, I'm not really a big like morning eater before the gym, but then when I get home, that's when you make the eggies and the sourdough with the Kerrygold butter. It is the best. Sometimes a little fruit on the side. It kind of depends because I'll have the fruit in the morning before the gym, but yeah. And orange juice with vanilla protein tastes like a creamsicle. That is a great hack that I learned. Phenomenal. Frank's Red Hot fixes all foods. My acid reflux cannot keep up with Frank. Frank, maybe just a little, and you got to mix it like with ketchup too. That I can do. But not too crazy with the Frank's hot sauce. But when I think about hot things, one thing that I do very much like, and my palate can handle it because it's like sweet and spicy, is hot honey. I got into a debate the other day with somebody and they told me I was wrong, but you get a pizza. So now we're kind of just going off the deep end. A nice pizza that's been made in like a wood oven, a stone oven. So it's got like that nice crunch. We get some red sauce, we get some fresh mozzarella, we get maybe a little basil, and we put figs on there, and then right on top, some hot honey. Oh my God. La di da di da. If you haven't tried that combination before, thank me later. Thank me later. That might be in the same vein as how people feel about pineapple on their pizza, which personally I love because, again, I love the sweet and the savory combo. There's something about it. Oh, yeah. Omar asking pineapple on pizza. Yes. Yes. I'm sorry. I know that, we were talking about like getting views on things. I might lose all views now, but it's something I'm willing to die on that hill. And there's not many hills that I'm willing to die on. Ugh. Oh, man. Oh, now I'm coughing. Oh, how do I scroll? What's happening? Oh, I'm scrolling on the wrong thing. Okay. Hold on. I'm catching up on some of these. Omar asking about the open again. Shocker. Gone on any dates lately? We talked about that last week. Great in the kitchen. I don't know what the air quotes are for that. Like, yeah, he's great in the kitchen. He's my friend. That's it. Let's relax. Gotta start making your own sourdough bread. Olivia, I know. And it's on my list of things to do. Me and my girlfriends, we keep saying that we're gonna have a sourdough making like day, but we haven't. We haven't done it yet, and yeah, I feel like that's gonna be a good, like, fall or winter thing, maybe around the holidays. I need to remind them that we gotta do that because have you ever had okay, so sourdough, pizza, very good, but also one of my friends in Arizona, she's a realtor, and she will make sourdough chocolate chip cookies. The texture of these is out of this world. If it it's not again, it's not gonna taste like a traditional chocolate chip cookie, but it like, don't knock it till you try it. So if you, Olivia, make sourdough, sourdough cookies should be on the list. Ah, Sagan, just she works more than 40 hours a week. She doesn't have time. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. And what do you do if I said, "Nah, I work like 10 hours a week. I live like I relax. I do nothing. I chill." Would you hate me for that too? I'm not saying you hate me, but I'm like, what's your bit here? What are we trying to get at? I don't understand. Olivia, there's always time. There's always time for sourdough. I lost weight because of health. Also, have you had hot honey pizza? Same girl, same. Yeah. So that's the thing. I tried for years to be the person that could eat the same exact thing every day. And for breakfast, I very much can. I very much can eat, scrambled eggs or an omelet and toast or, very basic. And pretty much the same for lunch too. But for dinner, my palate be crazy. I want to make tacos. Maybe I want to make some pizza. Uh, etc. So yeah, obviously I'm eating way less pizza now than than I was before a year and a half ago. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I am aware. I'm aware. Just because I want to be healthy doesn't mean that like my taste buds are dead. They are well alive. And I try to find yummy things that fit my macros. And luckily the internet has made that way easier. And Trader Joe's. They got some great stuff there. Great stuff. Ooh, gluten-free sourdough. Okay. Ooh, from Nicaragua. Hey, Nika. Hola. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever it is for anybody watching. Oh, sourdough chocolate croissants. Hi, Nico. Importing the chocolate from France? Oh my God. When you get done with those, send me some pictures or videos of what it's like. Dang. That's great. Good for you. I need to get on that gang. No wonder you love pizza. Thanks for the slice of the games. Here for the homies. Here for the homies. Yeah. And that's the thing. When it comes to pizza, don't come at me with Domino's or Pizza Hut or like I'm not willing to sacrifice macros to bad pizza. I am, however, willing to sacrifice macros for good pizza. On an occasion, every now and then, got to do it. I bought 2 fig trees last year, never tried them on pizza. Kyle, let me show you the way. Let me show you the way. Figs are such an underrated food. And I feel like when you go to a restaurant, it's not something that's on the menu super often. But if I see figs on a menu, you best believe I don't care what they're on or how it's made. Well, if they're with mushrooms, I don't think somebody would do that. Gross. I'm not going to do it because I hate mushrooms, but mm, that is the way. I made dough with Greek yogurt. Ooh. I saw somebody make what was it? It was a pumpkin cinnamon roll with cottage cheese. It was like high protein pumpkin cinnamon roll. I hate cottage cheese. I very much have tried to like it because again, you try to find ways to like high protein food and okay, how can I, you know, make this not so terrible? I haven't been able to find a way, but I wonder if baking with it and with all the other ingredients in there that it might be good. Yeah. TBD. TBD on that. what am I eating for dinner? I recently bought a bunch of stuff to make a salad, and I was always convinced that I mean, I love a good salad, but I'm always convinced that when somebody else makes it for you, it's kind of the same as the sandwich theory. When somebody else makes your sandwich, why does it taste so much better? It's kind of the same. Ooh, it's pouring outside. I can hear it. It's kind of the same for me with salads, but the ingredients that I got for this salad the other day are great. So it was romaine lettuce, little chopped up carrots, a mix of like the colorful bell peppers, the little tiny fresh mozzarella balls. Yes, yes. Some craisins or cranberries. So we got a little bit of sweetness in there. Italian croutons because crunch. I like to have the different textures in there. I'm trying to think if anything else was in there. Oh, and then I got this rosemary olive oil rosemary chicken from Trader Joe's. Um that, I cut. Yes, I use my scissors. I don't use the cutting board and knife. I just cut those strips like right into it and then a nice little balsamic vinaigrette. Mwah, chef's kiss. Maybe I'll have that again for dinner and a side of some yogurt. Yeah. You need a guy to make you a sandwich. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? Maybe. There's actually a really good sandwich place right by my house. It's called the Brooklyn Pickle. Very good. Very good. Last week I was really on a sandwich kick. Uh, just super basic. Sandwiches don't need to be crazy. I used honey mustard and sourdough bread with just a couple slices of Swiss cheese and just some cold cut oven roasted turkey, and it was perfect. I think it's all about how you layer. Oh, and what were they? Like sweet peppers. I forget what the peppers are called. The little circular ones. Normally they're like in some kind of like oil or whatever. They have a little tiny bit of heat, not much, but I put those on too. But the way that you layered the sandwich, super important because then when you cut it, like everything needs to be in line so nothing is sneaking out. You know what I mean? You don't want to lose any lunch meat or any like fixins while you take a little bite ski. But that's been very good lately. Wow, we've talked a lot about food today. This is the foodie episode of Live with Laur. Uh, yeah. Not sure how you feel about this mozzarella business. I love fresh mozz. That's something that truly I wouldn't be able to keep in the house, like the big logs, because the one time that I did, I learned the hard way. It was like, okay, I'm gonna cut off a little piece, and then you go back, you cut off another little piece. No, no. But for whatever reason, the fresh mozzarella balls, I don't do it the same. It's just like, it's honestly not as satisfying as the way that like the logs, the cheese just kind of like pulls off. And I'm not a big cheese person, to be honest, but mozzarella, Parmesan, Swiss. So I guess it depends. Sharp cheddar. Okay, maybe I am a cheese person. Oh, love banana peppers. It wasn't that one, but the peppercini, those are the peppers that I had on that. Banana peppers in your eggs in the morning, like if you cut them up really, really small, very good because again, like banana peppers to me that's not like spicy hot, it just has like a little bit of a kick. I'm getting like a sweat mustache thinking about them though for whatever reason. Oh, it's the way I say it. Mozzarella. Mozzarella, mozzarella. Which way? Which way? Okay, I'm getting too hungry. Okay, any final questions before dinner time? The dogs have eaten. They are relaxed behind me. For my TV bingers on Netflix, guess what dropped today? Any guesses? Any guesses? Tang. Tang's the word. CrossFit, thank you. Nobody wants this. Season 2 out now. Out now. I am so excited. I want to finish like uploading and scheduling Amy Kringle and get that all squared away, and then I'm going to get all comfy in my robe on my couch. I'm gonna get an episode or 2 in before beddy bye, and it's gonna be a great little wind down for the evening. I personally cannot wait. Here for a good time, not a long time, you know? You know? Yeah, so if you haven't watched season 1, it's great. It's phenomenal. Sean and Tommy have even watched it. They even like it. Who would have thought that the 3 of us would watch a show, like, have the same Love is Blind, come on, CrossFit. Sometimes that's on the back end. If I can't decide in a show and I just need, like, a little bit of background noise that I don't care about, sometimes that has been in the background while I'm editing some videos on my couch, and I'm like, "Oh, what's happening here?" Don't really pay attention, but, yeah. Anyways, this was so much fun as always. Netflix and chill by myself. Too funny. Yeah, that's gonna be my evening. And not by myself. I got 2 dogs. They are gonna keep me company and it's gonna be great. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in live with Laur. If you haven't yet, go back and watch the car ride confessions with Olivia Kerstetter. I have the full rundown and release schedule on my Instagram over the course of the next month or so of who will be coming out. And then once that's up, we will have another release schedule, and I'll try to keep those pinned to my Instagram so everybody can, see what we got stirring over on the side. But for now, appreciate all of you guys, and I'll see you next Thursday. Have a great weekend.